Hello Stratters, Nick here playing Azorious PauBlade in Pauper. On the play, we're going to go ahead and keep this hand. So we're missing blue mana. We have a few different things to do if we don't find it immediately. And we found it. So go ahead, attack with the Thraben Inspector. We'll play out a Squadron Hawk, search out all the other Squadron Hawks. It's always nice when you have a 1-drop in your Squadron Hawk hand so that your Hawk can go and find 3 Hawks you don't have to discard. And you don't have to leave any Hawks in your deck. 2, 3. Alright. And then since we have all these Brainstorms, I'm going to kind of slow play these Squadron Hawks so that I'm able to get them to draw some extra cards. Guess the verdict. Guess I'll get rid of a Squadron Hawk. And it's occurring to me that maybe I should have played this Sylvok Lifestaff pre-combat. Of course, playing Azorious Chancery means that we're going to return a land to our hand, and we kind of want to avoid discarding. So I'll pick up planes. Sure, Chainer's Edict, that's fine. A little bit of life for our troubles. And both the creatures that we played that trade with removal spells were value creatures, so I don't feel particularly bad about how this has gone. Although we do need to get some more pressure on the board as soon as we're able to. Opponent looks like they're playing something. I'm not sure what it would be for 1 mana. Okay, they're Dark Ritualing out a Chittering Rats, and this is fine. So let's go ahead and do the old Brainstorm with our Squadron Hawks, more than likely. Yeah, we'd rather keep really any of this. And let's see, so we'll be playing a land. So we can go and grab both the other Hawks. Alright. And use this extra mana just to equip the Lifestaff so we can threaten a trade with the Chittering Rats. So we're really strong on the card advantage front here. I don't really like playing Dark Ritual in these mono-black control decks. It can enable some kind of really fast broken starts, but I think in general it's not exactly what I'd like to be doing. And we just traded, so that's good. At some point I hope to show you my particular take on the mono-black control deck. Oh, they became the Monarch. So that explains why they wanted to trade with my Squadron Hawk. This thing has Death Touch. So I'm going to fire off a Brainstorm, hide a Hawk, and something else here. one of these lands. And then I'm going to play Guardian of the Guildpact and just hope that they don't have an Edict effect. If they do, it gets me fairly well, but if not, I should have a pretty good chance. Ooh, they have one. Well, that's unfortunate. So I've noticed some of these cards from this set that makes you the Monarch have been having a little bit of an impact in Pauper. And it's really catching them up in card advantage. It also makes sense now that they would play Dark Ritual. Dark Ritualing out this card seems pretty powerful. You kind of get to recoup the card at your end step with the Monarch trigger. For those of you who aren't aware, because I guess this isn't something you come across very often, the Monarch at the beginning of your end step draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the Monarch. So I don't want to draw that Squadron Hawk, and I'm not sure I want to play a Squadron Hawk this turn, so I'm going to basic land cycle this to get a island. And now we have 5 mana available to us. So I'll play a Flayer Husk, and then I don't want to risk removal spell Edict and get this other Guardian of the Guildpact killed. It's a little bit risky, so maybe I just do want to play Squadron Hawk here. Can equip the Lifestaff to yes. One of these creatures, probably the Germ token, since that's kind of the most expendable. And then I also want to keep the Squadron Hawk in play since it's a flyer, so I can maybe steal the Monarch. I can leave up Brainstorm if that ends up being something I want to consider doing. Duress. I think I want to Brainstorm in response to the Duress. Hopefully I can hide some cards. So I think I want to hide those. And so the Duress will whiff. And I'm just going to take it. Again, they could have an Edict effect, and if I trade my Germ off, the Edict becomes live. Just put, I guess I'll land back, doesn't really matter too much. And I want to see if I can become the Monarch with the Squadron Hawk. Looks like I do. Cool. So I have access to 4, 5, 6 mana. So I think I want to get down Guardian of the Guildpact and this other Squadron Hawk. Make sure not to search with the Squadron Hawk since I know my top cards and I do want them. Like that. Get this into play since I don't need the mana. and pass, and we get to draw cards for being the Monarch. So as long as we can maintain this, we can kind of leverage this card against them, so they should keep track of how many cards they drew off of being the Monarch. Chainer's Edict, I'm going to sacrifice the tapped creature, since if the opponent doesn't really get a hit in, then I will maintain my monarchy. So trade here, here, and then I guess just chump block so that I can, again, maintain being Monarch. Another edict here would be a little bit problematic. Play out all my lands. Play the Seraph of Dawn. So it's more likely to get killed, I think. And then I will equip the Flayer Husk. So it can protect against that Thorn of, what's this called? Thorn of the Black Rose. Also, these cards are fairly expensive on Magic Online since you can only open them in the treasure chests. And I think it's not a card that everybody knows to make tradable, so I think that's maybe part of the reason why. So they can regain the monarchy, but they'll have to essentially sacrifice a creature to do it. And this is protection from monocolored, so I want to trade off with the Death Toucher. So they'll draw a card, I'll draw a card. Since I plan to become the Monarch. Doom Traveler was an excellent draw here, since we know that they have a... Or did they already flash back? No, there's the Chainer's Edict. Since they have a Chainer's Edict in the graveyard, I should probably keep this popped out. So I will cast a Doom Traveler. I will Journey to Nowhere this Phyrexian Rager. Might as well crack the clue here. And guess I can play that land. What does it really matter? Equip there. Play Trinket Mage. And Trinket Mage probably goes and grabs the Bonesplitter. If I had spare mana, I'd probably go and get the Relic, just because, you know, it gets these edicts out of their graveyard. And Chancery's not a bad one. As far as lands are concerned, it's probably the best land we could draw at this point. Just because it picks up other lands and lets us, you know, have cards in hand to potentially put back with Brainstorms. So I think I pressure them with this Guardian. Definitely should have played and equipped the Bonesplitter there. That was a oversight on my part, so they could be at 7 right now, which makes a bit of a difference. And I just want to get this off the board so there's, you know, even less chance of them becoming the Monarch. I haven't played a game with this Monarch, at least on Pauper on Magic Online, but it's, I don't know, kind of swingy. I think these are maybe better as sideboard cards. Because, again, I mean, against a control deck, you play this, you know, one of these cards like, you know, Thorn of the Black Rose here, and it enters play, you become the Monarch, and then just every end step, you start drawing cards if your opponent has no pressure. Like, imagine this card against blue-black control. It's just basically a unremovable Phyrexian Arena. Okay, so anything I particularly want here? Maybe some more relics. What's bad? Seraph of Dawn doesn't seem great. It's just kind of a big expensive creature that dies to basically any removal that doesn't really generate any value. Sunlance could be a consideration. I guess I don't know if I necessarily need Relic of Progenitus. We saw some edicts we could get. I guess the second one is fine, and then one Sunlance. What other cards are cuttable? I guess we could just kind of get a little bit more efficient with our removal. Seems, yeah, that seems pretty good to me. Yeah, I'm up for this. Go ahead and play a relic early so we can start eating at the graveyard, hopefully mitigate Chainer's edicts and the like. So they're probably going to Dark Ritual out this card that makes them Monarch. Yep. Yeah, I don't mind Dark Ritual when you're playing this card. It certainly changes the way that games play out. That's for sure. And I should have tapped the relic on their turn, and I didn't. Making some small mistakes. It's getting a little bit late here, so that's what I'll blame. And so they're pretty obliged to... I'll only get 2, so I don't have to discard. They're fairly obliged to kill this Squadron Hawk so that I don't become the Monarch. It's not like that's a particularly valuable duress. Kind of surprised they kept that in. I don't have... I guess it makes sense in that I'm playing Trinket Mage, but I would probably wait to fire off duresses until, you know, if I cast a Trinket Mage on 3, they'll know that I have a target in my hand. You can at least, you know, get the equipment or the relics that I had with the Trinket Mage, whereas just kind of firing blind, I don't think duress is particularly good against this deck. So, relic. And thinking about my best options here. I think I like Trinket Mage going to get Flayer Husk, so then I can set up a Squadron Hawk plus Flayer Husk and tap land the following turn. Chittering Rats, I guess this Mulldrifter is a little ways away. Okay. So they are getting to draw a lot of cards off this Monarch, but hopefully we can steal it from them and gain them back. Relic you while I can. And no real good attacks, so. Although, yeah, as long as they keep killing my flyers, it's going to be kind of difficult. I guess this Guardian of the Guildpact is, oh, sorry, going to be pretty difficult for them to kill. So this is I guess a card that I can always kind of depend to steal the Monarchy from. Maybe I should be a little bit more conservative. Try to get, one or two more creatures down before I play it. But right now they'd have to go, kill spell for Trinket Mage, kill spell for Germ, Edict for the Guardian. And considering that they didn't do anything on end step, I feel alright about where I'm at here. So hopefully the Guardian should steal the Monarchy, and then I can start recouping all the cards that I'm down. Okay. So that does a little bit. Now what? Well, let's get in there. Yeah, sometimes this card is just so powerful. Just the protection clause on it, it's kind of unbelievable how good it can be. 2/3 for 4, not particularly powerful, but protection from monocolor turns out pretty good. Grab a land here, and then I just want to get, I think, more into play. Don't remember. Okay. Exile and draw my card. Echoing Decay on Trinket Mage. Okay, so they'll probably be able to retake the Monarchy, but I'll take it back. I guess if they have a kill spell for Squadron Hawk and then an Edict, they can get my Guardian. That would be pretty good. Obviously, I don't want to do any chump blocking here, since that would open up my Guardian even more to an Edict. And what do they have? It's a Grey Merchant? Gurmag Angler. Well, these relics have really done their job then. Okay, let's retake the Monarchy. And make sure I've got plenty happening here. So I think I will want to get the Skirmog Angler off the table. So Brainstorm. What don't I need? I don't think I'm going to have time for the Seagate Oracle. And I'll draw this other Brainstorm on end step. That gets this down, and then I think I want to purge getting rid of my clue token. Alright. So I think we're going to have a little bit of a back and forth fight here. Unless I want to make some chump blocks. I think I would rather not do that and let them regain the monarchy. And then I'll regain it. And the thing is, these creatures are going to be a lot better once I can get some equipment. Probably takes my Mulldrifter. This is a card that makes a lot more sense against my deck since I'm kind of a bit more creature focused. Duress I just think is a little bit narrow. Granted, the opponent might not necessarily know that. I guess Squadron Hawk's probably the worst one here. Exile. And then I can hopefully nail the Chainer's Edict on my turn. So let's exile, make sure that we do get rid of that Chainer's Edict. And we do. Very nice. Okay, so play a Seagate Oracle. And then we'll probably equip the Bonesplitter to Thraben Inspector and the Flayer Husk. Okay, opponent's seen enough. Yeah, so at this point, I think let's take a look and see what we would have gotten. Probably take this Mulldrifter, so we'll equip Flayer Husk to Seagate Oracle, which makes it, properly block Chittering Rats, Bonesplitter to the Thraben Inspector. At that point, maybe I consider some trades. Ooh, this is a little sneak peek at something I might try a little bit later. Where are we at here? Oh, PauBlade. Yeah, so I would equip that. I think we're in a pretty favorable position from that spot, though. So, yeah, it's hopefully you enjoyed the matches, and stay tuned, Stratters.